Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Shatakshi, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what typical mistakes or best practices management consultants do not share with the outside world in terms of how to get into management consulting. So once again, I have divided this video into two parts. What are the perks and benefits of management consulting? And then of course the best practices and the mistakes that people typically should be avoiding. Now, I know that if you have clicked on this video, then you are probably already motivated about getting into management consulting, but I still consider it my moral duty to help you understand the insider world of management consulting, having been at BCG before, having gotten my Mckinsey and BCG offer both in hand. So let's start with the first topic. What really motivates people to get into management consulting? What are the perks that they know about? What are the downsides that they absolutely are not really aware about? So let's start with the perks, right? So perk number one definitely would be a great pay. Even after an MBA or even as an undergraduate, the management consultings, the top management consulting, Mckinsey, BCG and Bain, they are great paymasters compared to the other relevant relative sectors and industries. So truth be told, if I were to quote my salary after ISB, I was getting a package of 33 lakhs from BCG, which is way above the average salary drawn by ISBN, right? At least in my batch. So you definitely start with a salary which is more than the average salary of your cohort. So that's definitely one of the big perks because of which typically people are attracted towards management consulting. The second one will be a great lifestyle, a flamboyant lifestyle. I have lived in 5-star hotels, I have flew business class, and especially as a youngster, if you're in your mid-20s, then this kind of lifestyle really attracts you. Of course, the world has changed after the pandemic. A lot of the flamboyant lifestyle of the management consultant took a toll because you were not traveling as much as you would like to. But of course, I think in the new hybrid world, management consultants still get to experience the flamboyant lifestyle, especially I think as an undergraduate or in your mid-20s. All these things can look really very flashy and frankly very sexy, if I were to say so. So that's the second benefit that people really get attracted towards in terms of building a career in management consulting. So like always, I have my notes here, which I would be referring time and again, which brings me to my third benefit or perks of being a management consultant, which is about great exits. Management consulting, and especially in this video, when I talk about management consulting, I'm talking about three: Mckinsey, BCG and Bain. Of course, the world of management consulting is way beyond than this. But from the point of view of you building a career, these are the three firms, these are the top-notch echelons of management consultant, MBB, that's how the acronym sounds like. Typically, people get really great exit options after working management consulting. Truth be told, management consulting is not just an employer. It's like another academic training institution in itself. The kind of training that you go through in terms of problem solving, in terms of stakeholder management, in terms of hustling, in terms of just trying to multitask a lot of things. It brings out a plethora of skill set in you, which is really very valuable in the market, right? So for example, I got an exit to work directly with Tony Blair after my BCG exit. Truth be told, that kind of exit is very rare, especially in India, because I got a Dubai opportunity which was international and directly to get to work with a former UK Prime Minister. But at the same time, a lot of my friends who did not get as good or as great as mine, if I were to be extremely humble about it, to be very transparent, but they did manage to get really great opportunities, work as chief of staffs to the upcoming startups, join Amazon as really great senior product managers, so on and so forth. There are PVC exits as well. In India, of course, a lot of VC firms actually hire from Mckinsey, BCG, Bain, typically because these people are already trained in terms of problem solving, Excel analysis, how to find a deal, how to do a due diligence, so on and so forth. So these are the three benefits because of which typically people are really attracted about getting into management consulting. Great salary, great lifestyle, and last but not the least, great exit options. However, what people really don't talk about in terms of building a career in management consulting are the hours. The hours can be really inhumane. I have actually put 14 to 15 hours on, 50 to 60 hours on an average on a weekly basis. And that's an average working hours. It can actually go beyond 60 hours as well. The unfortunate reality of today's day and age is the kind of hours that we all put, 50, 60, have been so much normalized by so many industry practitioners that we feel that, hey, this is just a normal practice. But I still believe that these hours are not really sustainable for your health. My health took a toll. I have done management consulting not just in BCG, but before also. I started my career in boutique consulting firm, and there again I was putting in at least 50 to 60 hours. So be very mindful of these downsides as well. I know of partners, I know of engagement managers who were just still hustling out in management consulting even though their health was not really supporting it. So while I'm not saying that you should not get into management consulting, but these are definitely the harsh realities of management consultants. Few of them manage it really beautifully well over a period of time, but most of them I have seen having them lifestyle issues or lifestyle health issues. That brings me to the end of the why section, why typically people are excited about building a career in management consulting. Please watch till the end because I'm going to be sharing extremely innovative hacks that people typically do not talk about or know about. Which brings me towards my how part of it. What are certain best practices or mistakes that people do because of which they are not able to build their career in management consulting? Point number 1, resume. Oh my God, so many people obsess about solving consulting cases without even building a robust consulting resume. Consulting resume shape, face, structure is extremely different than a typical conventional CV will look like. You quantify your impact, you make sure the entire your entire CV structured. For example, there is academia, there is extracurricular, and there is professional experience. And last but not the least, you make sure that you have spike, or spike is basically you are extraordinary in one of these 3 buckets. So extracurricular is 1 bucket, academia is 2nd bucket, professional experience is 3rd bucket. You need to make sure you're good in all 3 of these and you're extraordinary in one of these. So for example, when I was at ISB, my professional experience of having worked directly with the former chairman of Mckinsey and Company, having worked very centrally and in close quarters with the politicians and the top bureaucrats really stood out for me to have a spike in my professional experience. Having said that, in my academia, I was actually a Delhi University rank holder, a top rank holder in undergraduate. That added more weightage to my academic weightage so that it looked very good, at least on CV. So please do not just start solving plethora of cases or million of cases until unless you get your CV right. CV is the first step. You can get or sharpen your step number 3, but till the time your CV is not shortlisted, not a lot of things will actually be very clear to you in terms of building your career path. So that's point number 1, which is very less spoken about, very less people spend time on it. If you would like me to make a video on how to build a CV for consultants, happy to actually share a video on that. But of course, I would like to know in the comments if there are enough people who are requesting for it, so that accordingly I spend my time as well. That brings me to my second point, referrals. Many people think that referrals do not operate as heavily as it does in other industries. That's actually far away from truth. Especially in management consulting, the weightage of a partner referring you for you to get in an interview shortlist is just way too high. And that's why getting into Mckinsey, BCG, Bain is extremely hard nut to crack, because no one in the mid-manager layer will be interviewing you. Your first round of interviews actually start with the partner. That means you cannot actually game the system enough, because partners have a shareholder equity in the organization, hence they are called partners. And that's why if you can arrange to get a referral, right, from a partner, and why would a partner give you a referral if you have a common connection with them? For example, at Global Governance Initiative, there are multiple partners from BCG who have come and taken a masterclass, and they have actually been impressed by a few delegates of ours, and they ended up actually giving really kind referral to few of them. So those kind of platforms actually allow you to bridge a gap between yourself and partners at MBB, so that you have a chance of getting a referral. So that's second point that not a lot of people talk about in terms of getting your shortlist. Shortlist is the biggest bottleneck that most of the people actually do not crack. That's point number 2, which brings me to my point number 3, which is about case interviews. I know that a lot of people are just obsessed about solving case interviews. They think that I'm an ace at case interviews. Let me share my story. I have time and again realized that I'm really great at solving case interviews. I know I should be humble about it, but there is actually a catch about it. When I was in ISB Hyderabad campus, so there is this culture of having buddies, right, on campus, that you solve cases with your peers. And I know of friends who were not really fantastic at solving cases. I would rate them a 3 or 3.5 on a scale of 5, right? And because I had worked with the former chairman, Mckinsey and Company, and I had worked with the partner of Mckinsey before, my case solving skills compared to my peers on ISB campus was really very high. And there were times where I would worry or I would question if my friend who was on a scale of 5, a 3.5 or a 4 would really get into MBB. And guess what? They actually managed to get into MBB. So what really basically is the insight here? They were not really extraordinary in terms of solving case. They had basics of problem solving. They knew how to structure things. They had the potential. There is another arena of the entire interview section that people typically don't talk about when it comes to getting to the world of management consulting, which is personal interviews. There is a section within the 45 minutes interview, 30 minutes is your case, 15 minutes is your personal interview, where the partner would actually probe you to understand why are you really interested in getting at Mckinsey or in getting at BCG. What is really your story behind? Most of the people who actually get into management consulting have really wonderful stories in terms of what are the 3 reasons because of which, what are your personal 3 reasons, not Wikipedia or Googleable 3 reasons why you should be building a career in BCG. What are your personal 3 reasons that have really motivated you for you to build a career in Bain or BCG, right? So that's point number 1, having a very sharp answer there. A better fit with the firm can actually navigate or can actually compensate for you being a 3.5 on a scale of 5 for case interview. So firms actually prefer someone who has a really high fitment with their organization, even though they are good, if not great, in terms of case solving. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is definitely about communication. Most of the people who get into management consulting can be good, if not great in terms of case solving, but they are typically very good in terms of communication. Now, what do I mean by this? They have a patience, calm approach towards speaking, right? They will structure their points in 3 points, right? So if I were to, ask this question, Shatakshi, why would you want to build a career in BCG? I would not speak for 2 minutes without any structure. I would impromptu build out 3 points because of which I genuinely was invested back then to build a career in BCG or Mckinsey because I had both the shortlist, both the offers back then. So that's the most important critical component that people typically miss out on. Imagine what the partner would think if for a personal interview question you're giving a 3-point answer. The partner would think that you're already exhibiting the skill sets of a consultant, right? You're already really structured in terms of your skills. Which brings me to my last point, which is about listen very, very, very carefully. I have seen, I have observed, I have live witnessed few really extraordinary folks from IITs, IIMs who had the intellectual capability but were just really plain out loud shitty listeners. Trust me on this when I say this, that partners are actually, they want to select you. What do I mean by that? They want to help you. They want to give you the hints if you're going wrong in your case interview, right? So even in the personal interview round, right? If you find that the partner is you are just going on and on, you are just all about yourself, people love speaking, but guess what? People are terrible listeners. The partners would have 50 people on their panel, right? It's in your interest to get selected, right? It's not in partner's interest to get selected. So what do I mean by this? As much as possible, see if you can get the partner to speak as equally as you are speaking, right? During the case interview, what do you think of this step? Do you think I'm on the right lines or should I continue forward, etc., etc. Take feedback, not just in the case interview, but in the personal round also. Ask question towards the end. What's been your experience of leading a financial tech sector? In one of my Mckinsey interview, I was just generally really curious because the partner was sitting right in front of me, was handling financial sector and public policy sector. Coming from public policy background, I was just really curious how was he managing 2 practices at Mckinsey. And he poured his heart out because I was just genuinely asking from a point of view of curiosity, not just point of just asking questions for the heck of it. So that brings me towards the end of this video lesson. What are the typical mistakes or typical best practices that people don't talk about for you to build a career in management consulting? If you would like me to build another video on any of these topics, be it resume, be it referral, be it case interviews, or be it just the basics of communication, in terms of getting shortlisted in interviews, communication, especially listening, and specially structured point have actually brought plethora of opportunities in my career. So if you would be interested, feel free to comment. If I see substantial number of people commenting, I would be happy to make a separate video. Please give this video a thumbs up. It helps to keep me motivated. It also helps to actually support the algorithm of YouTube. If you like my video, if you actually like my video, then the next time if I put a video, it will come in your feed as well. That's all I have to share in this video. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye. Subscribe right now so that you get notified every time, every day, whenever I'm putting up my videos on career advancement, personal finance, and lots of productivity hacks.